Well, welcome everyone. I'm here with two amazing women in this community. I've got Marjorie Moss. She is the executive director for ShareOmaha, and Donna Cush, the president and CEO for the Omaha Community Foundation. Ladies, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure, Andy. Thank you so much.
So lots of things happening within these two organizations. So let's just start off. How did the partnership between ShareOmaha and the Omaha Community Foundation, this is a new joint venture, a new partnership. So Donna, you want to answer that question?
Sure. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Andy. The partnership actually goes back a couple years, and ShareOmaha and Omaha Gives and the Community Foundation really started collaborating on each other's efforts. So there was a lot of work to link between each other's websites to especially where we complemented each other. So for example, during Omaha Gives, a couple years ago, ShareOmaha had links within Omaha Gives to volunteer opportunities that were listed on the ShareOmaha website. So, and vice versa. When when there were events that ShareOmaha was doing, Omaha Gives and the Community Foundation was helping to support and promote those as well. So it actually goes back quite a ways, and really everything just kind of came into fruition then as the Community Foundation started having discussions about what to do with Omaha Gives, and the timing just felt so right strategically. And then we had this great opportunity with a partner in the community who had, when you look at it, a more robust platform than just a one-day giving platform that allowed for more to happen 365 days a year. And so strategically it made sense, and then from a timing standpoint, it made sense to work together with this partner more closely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, I just assume everybody knows what ShareOmaha is. You guys just launched a couple years ago. So Marjorie, before you kind of answer or tailspin off of what Donna just said, let's just talk about what is ShareOmaha.
Sure. And I love this elevator pitch. So we are a conduit between nonprofits and their needs, their causes, and the public that wants to do good. And we try to make that process and that matchmaking as seamless and as easy as possible with an unbiased approach. So when you go to shareomaha.org, our primary program, when you go there, the nonprofits, as you run the search, are randomized. So what's beautiful about that is that the smallest nonprofit can be positioned first based upon the algorithm of the day, and you get to meet a lot of new nonprofits to you based upon your interest in the filters that you choose.
Yeah, because again, ShareOmaha launched, it was 2017, correct? Or 2018?
January 17th, 2019.
Well, where am I? Where's my head? I mean, it feels like you guys have been around for so many years. So 2019 is when you launched. Oh my goodness.
Well, Andy, 2020 has been like 3 years altogether.
I know. So
it's true.
So, okay, that just says you've done so much. This organization has done so much in literally, 2 years.
It's been a rocket ship. We launched with 156 nonprofits, 6 nonprofits above goal. And today we have 465 nonprofits on the website.
Yeah.
So it's just, the organization has been accepted by the community, and there was a tipping point where nonprofits were then seeking us out. And now our job is to draw as many of the public, individuals, companies, families, churches, schools, to take advantage of those postings that the nonprofits generate for the community.
All right. So we talked a little bit about how the partnership came together. So let's just talk a little bit about your organizations, how they complement each other. And then we're going to talk about some of the changes going forward, which, we'll talk about Omaha Gives, which has been a huge giving day that the Omaha Community Foundation has put out for, was this 5, 6,
8, 7? The 8th year.
Again, time flies by. So, Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about, I mean, we talked about how the organizations complement one another, but do you have anything else to say about that, Marjorie? Do you want to add to that?
Certainly. So when I think about it, I think about how the Omaha Community Foundation has initiatives that really concentrate on the macro dynamics that really sculpt our community. They're working on building up capacity on nonprofits. They're working on racial justice issues. They're working on so many initiatives that are critical to the foundational health of our community. What's beautiful about ShareOmaha is that you can put into practice immediately a need you might see from the community foundation or that bubbles up from their research on the landscape, et cetera, and go to action on it right away. You can say, I'm going to dig into that issue and I'm going to find an organization I can volunteer with, or I'm going to dig in and I'm going to make a gift today, a donation through the platform, or I'm going to seek out what events are happening regarding that, or buy an in-kind item. So there's just so many ways that people can really put into practice the macro dynamic that the community foundation really champions.
Yeah,
We'll continue that too. We'll continue that partnership of working together. So, as Marjorie said, we kind of work on some macro issues in that, but it's that, and we do have a community investment team here who works really closely with nonprofits in order to be able to achieve that and to help then transfer that knowledge over to our base of donors, our fund holders, because that's really what we are, is a collective of donors. And so we look forward to continuing working really closely with ShareOmaha to share that knowledge that we have on the nonprofits, what's happening in the community, what those needs are, where the gaps are, so that we can help, then translate that to our donor base and fund holders.
yeah. And I really see, I mean, as you guys move forward and really looking at how the synergy between what these two organizations do is so important, because there's a different focus, but also there's a collaborative focus, and for the community on how we can make the community better through nonprofits and supporting them as well. So, all right, let's talk a little bit about the campaigns that the public can look forward to.
Yes, and please believe every ounce of this statement. We all love Omaha Gives, and we love the energy and the creativity that it spurred for nonprofits and for the community to feel like they had a place at the table to make an investment in something that mattered to them. We want to see that continue. We want to see it continue, but we also want to see it continue and feel like people are empowered throughout the year. So on special days where we elevate the entire sector, like Giving Tuesday, which is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, that's any nonprofit can leverage that day as a way to activate their donor base or to attract new supporters to their mission. But also next April, because we know that we've trained our community to like a spring giving day, we are going to have Do Good Week, which is April 18th through 24th. And every day that week is kind of going to have a different theme, is what we're planning toward. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a crescendo at the end of the week based around a cash insurgence to nonprofits. So just know that we really want to show the flexibility of our website during those campaigns, but also keep that energy going. We really want to see the creativity just flow like it has for Omaha Gives.
Yeah. And I mean, Omaha Gives, again, has been such a crucial day for so many years. And it's so great to, again, okay, how do we move forward, and looking at, the decision to move forward without Omaha Gives. So Donna, I mean, do you want to speak a little bit to that? Because I don't want to look to the past, but really to the future on everything that actually has done for the Omaha community. And now we're moving forward and making, potentially something even greater.
Yes. Yeah. The Omaha Gives was always such a great celebration of our nonprofits, highlighting all the work that they did. And it was this great moment in time for us once a year where we celebrated all that great work. The staff at the boards, the everybody that's been involved in helping grow our community. because we have, no doubt about it, one of the most generous communities in the nation, no doubt about it. And this was a great way to celebrate the nonprofit equation of that. So it was very sad, very hard for all of us to think about losing Omaha Gives. But that said, we knew we were going to be, working then moving forward with an amazing partner who had this platform that was not only about giving, but really was going to be able to engage the community in more robust ways than what we could with our platform. So it just made a lot of sense. It was a huge effort, huge lift for our team for those 8 years, and it raised $60 million almost over those 8 years. This last year with COVID being one of our top years that we had in terms of the amount, but also our participation was greater than ever in terms of individuals. And, really to me, if you think about that, the individual number of donors was bigger. Well, that's what ShareOmaha is really all about. It's about making sure that everybody, more of the community, has a chance to participate.
And in a very easy way. So I'm going to kind of give it back to you, Marjorie, as well, because it's so, going to your website, it's so easy to give back on your website.
Well, one of our taglines, Andy, is that you can make a difference in 5 clicks or less, and that's not hyperbole. That is something that you actually can make. You actually can make happen. You click the filter, you scroll down, you find something that sounds like a match. You read about that nonprofit. You maybe dig into their website a little bit, and then come back and decide how you want to engage. And 80% of our traffic are new visitors.
Yeah.
So people come to the website, they find their match, and then they're stewarded by that organization. We consistently bring in new traffic that want to be exposed to the community and find a perfect fit for what they want to accomplish. And we know that nonprofits are seeing the benefit of new supporters and more and different support coming their direction as far as volunteers, cash, in-kind resources, and event attendees.
Right. Because it really is, whether it's donating $1 or $10 or donating blankets or whatever it may be, all that information is on ShareOmaha, your website. And you know what, with COVID-19, it's been a tough year, and people, we're all dealing with our challenges, but I think people actually want to give back even more during this time.
I would echo what Donna said. I mean, seeing the record number of donors that came to Omaha Gives, and really the surge that we saw in volunteer applications through our website at the height of quarantine time, when people were trying to volunteer virtually. An average month for us, Andy, is about 500 volunteer leads. That's pretty impressive all by itself.
Yeah.
In April, with the help of pay TV and a campaign specifically about virtual volunteerism, we saw 1,000 applications just in April. And though we haven't seen quite a spike like that, Omaha has not disappointed.
Yeah.
Turn out and we help each other.
Yeah.
And I would definitely say that people are wanting to find purpose in the midst of this crisis. So.
All right. So before we sign off, let's just talk about Giving Tuesday one last time, because it's coming up the Tuesday right after Thanksgiving. Marjorie, I'll just let you say a few more words about that.
Certainly. So the Omaha Community Foundation and ShareOmaha are pushing out the message regarding Giving Tuesday. Giving Tuesday is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and it's a worldwide event. And ShareOmaha is proud to be kind of the powering, organizing entity for the effort for the Giving Tuesday 402 and Giving Tuesday 712. Those are the 2 hashtags. So there's a Southwest Iowa focused campaign for our Iowa nonprofits, and then one for the entire metro for 402. So dig into givingtuesday402.org, and you will find everything that your business, your family, maybe your nonprofit, if you're a nonprofit, ways to get involved. So there's lots of opportunities for you to light up your building, change your marquee, do something fun for your neighbors. I mean, there's just so many opportunities for you to feel like you're part of that swell of energy on that day.
And what a great way to kick off the holiday season. So Donna, I'll let you kind of then say a few final words about before we sign off here.
Oh, just thank you so much, Andy, for your support of us and Omaha Gives over the years. But we're so excited about this opportunity that we have to partner and the opportunity that we're creating for our entire community.
Yeah, it's huge. So, ladies, I just want to thank you both so much. First for chatting with me today, but also everything you're doing in our community. Marjorie, Donna, thank you so much.
Thank you, Andy.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. And folks, don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, hello, my friends. I am here with Major Greg Thompson, the Divisional Commander of the Salvation Army. Major Thompson, thank you so much for joining me again. We talked a few months ago, but here we are.
We had a fun talk then. Let's have another fun talk.
I know. So much going on at the Salvation Army, and really hitting the holidays. They're just, they're here. So, but let's just talk a little bit about the Salvation Army and who do you serve?
We make it our mission to serve the most marginalized in a community. And I think we do that well. Usually the folks who can't find service somewhere else are finding it with the Salvation Army. And we're doing our best to not only meet housing needs of veterans and those of senior citizens, but also helping people with early Head Start. And we have some housing for families. We do recreational programs across the community. We have family activities in 3 different other community centers. And we have a great number of people here who are continuing the work of the Salvation Army, even in the midst of all of this COVID thing. And I think that's what I've been most blessed by over the last few months, is that I work with a great group of people who see the mission of the Salvation Army and want to be a part of that mission, and then do it well every single day, even in the midst of, well, we can't do it the way we did. How can we do it now and do it safely? We were just in a meeting this morning, and some folks gave me a whole plan on our Turkey Fest distribution. And I said, I just want to know, I know you guys got it, but just tell me what it is. They had the entire safety plan all worked out to be able to stay safe with both the folks who help us with the meal, to those who deliver, to those who receive. And it's like, we are working to just keep moving, even though we have to do things differently. And I think that's what's been the best part of this whole thing has been for us, for me, especially personally.
Yeah, I mean, and that's so wonderful, and it's so important. And again, I mean, I think we had a conversation, April, May, I can't remember. It was back in the spring when talked about when COVID first hit, kind of what was going on. And now here we are getting ready for the holidays, and the Salvation Army, known for your Red Kettle campaign, the Tree of Lights campaign, and you're not doing it. It's just going to look a little bit different. So let's start with the Red Kettle campaign. Okay. Or which one do you want to start with?
No, let's start with Red Kettle. That's fine. Okay. So the cool part about the Red Kettle campaign is that I will tell you, in June and July, we were worried. There's an enormous amount of exposure and money that comes into us from the Red Kettle campaign that actually helps us continue our services throughout the year. Especially here in Omaha. And you're kind of going, are they going to let us do this? Is this COVID going to really break us all down? And I will tell you, our partners have come right alongside of us. Walmart, Hy-Vee, Baker's, Walgreens, all of those places where you would normally see Nebraska Furniture Mart, all of them have come through and said, you know what, we know this is going to be a tough year, but we've got customers coming in and we want them to still see the Red Kettle. And we're like, oh, thank you so much. So they've been very, very generous. So the interesting part of that is you may not see much difference
Okay.
Except for you will see you won't see it, but we will. You'll see the things you will see will be a masked bell ringer that will be
Sure.
masking airtime. They will step back from the kettle if someone approaches and just say thank you from afar. We will do cleaning measures throughout every day in regards to those kettles. So those are the behind the scene things that you may not see.
Sure.
But we're doing everything we can to make that exactly the same. And I will tell you, we're estimating 155% increase in services needed this Christmas.
Wow.
So we really want to have people be conscious of that the money they give us will help toward that, but also help toward the ongoing COVID crisis. I mean, if you haven't been affected by someone who's lost a job, I don't know who you are at this
Yeah.
point. Because
It's
even in Omaha, I think of CHI Center and the La Vista Convention Center. Those folks have been laying off people left and right because there are just no conventions happening.
right.
So I think we're seeing, and we're ending up with folks coming to us now, even now, for the first time and saying, I've never had to do this before.
Wow.
They're in that place where they have to ask for some assistance. And we want to do that graciously and thinking most about them and how we can be of service to them without making them uncomfortable at this time.
Yeah. Which I think as I hear you say this, for me, I mean, I'm always, I always put money in the kettles, but just for my perspective, it's like, okay, it's even more important for me to be mindful of that. And I always set aside a red kettle fund that I just have in my purse, and just, it's hard for me to go buy a red kettle and not put something in there.
I know. Well, imagine me. I've got to have a set of dollars on me all the time now because everywhere I go, there's a kettle and I got to put something in. So I'm with you. Now the interesting part too is this year we will have Apple Pay and Google Pay technology in every single kettle stand, so everybody can do it, even contactless there if they'd like to.
Okay. And again, that's so important. And I'm so glad to hear that, you're making adjustments on, how to do it, but there are going to be people still out there. And I mean, you can easily social distance yourself by having that presence and then allowing people, because it is a part of the holiday spirit. I mean, the community spirit around the holidays. So, we'll pop back over to that again, but let's talk about the Tree of Lights campaign, because that's a big thing. And I know that's different this year.
Well, yes. Well, we normally have a Tree of Lights kickoff at the American National Bank and have a big party and have all kinds of people there. And, Santa's there and there's a reindeer. Reindeers are smelly, by the way. But there's a reindeer there. There's all kinds of sandwiches and things. But we're like, we really cannot do that this year. So it's going to be a very small virtual event. We aren't inviting the public. We're still going to do it. It's probably going to end up on the news. But we won't have a big crowd or anything. It'll be a very, very small event. But that kickoff day on the 13th is the day that kettles actually end up in the stores, in some stores at that point. So that those two coordinate still every time. But the Tree of Lights campaign is beyond just the kettles as well.
Right.
It's all kinds of donations. This is one of our largest fundraising seasons, and there are two ways that some people can help if they're uncomfortable going to helping us or going to a kettle. They can go to our Facebook page at Sal Army Omaha, and for information about the event and the kickoff, and to donate even there. You can go to salarmyomaha.org, and there's a place you can donate there, and any money donated online comes right back to Omaha and stays right here in the metro area. There's also we've made opportunity for people to do things to feel like they've done a red kettle. We've got a huge what we call a massive an omaharedkettle.org. omaharedkettle.org. If you want to donate to the Red Kettle campaign, you can go there. Or you actually we have an opportunity for people to go to fundraiseforgood.org. That's fundraiseforgood.org. If you go there, you can actually set up your own personal Red Kettle online service for yourself. You can put it on all of your social media from there and raise some money for the Salvation Army through that as well.
I like that because and a lot of it too, as we're looking and we're in a different time right now, and a lot of people potentially aren't even going to the stores like they typically would have done a year ago over
Right.
the holiday season.
Right.
And really getting that information out there that you know, if you're not going into the store or you've got people shopping for you or, you know, whatever, that you can go online and give in so many different ways. Because
Right.
let's just talk a little bit, like, what is this money, you know, give us some like bullet points of how is this money utilized throughout the year?
The money is utilized for food, for housing, for utility assistance, for case management services, for safety programs for children, getting them off the streets into recreational programs, all kinds of different things like that, even down to assisting our folks who are in our senior high rise with just parties and or now we can't really do parties,
I
but
know. Yeah.
some kind of event that would say you're still loved and you're cared for, even though you're in this in a residence that because normally the people we have in our senior residence, they are folks who are very low income and may or may not have family available to them.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so important. Okay, so okay, let's talk about this. I'm looking at my, you know, my bullet points.
Yep, go for it.
People volunteering. I mean, you still need volunteers.
Right. So we want people to know that everything we've done in the past is still happening today, even though we're in COVID. We're just doing it differently. One of the things we really need right now is drivers for our Turkey Fest event, which takes a warm meal to a shut-in on Thanksgiving Day. So we're still looking for drivers there, but we need people to. I'm sorry. I just got sorry if you heard that. That was somebody tried to call me in the team. Sorry. Here we are. This is the electronic world.
Okay, so Turkey Fest, you need drivers.
Yep, we need drivers for Turkey Fest and some other things. We need people for that. We also need people to help us with sorting toys that we get from the Angel Tree program. We've got a lot of companies who are still doing that tangible way to buy a gift and give things to people. And we'll need people for distributions. Our distributions are going to look a little differently right now in regards to the toys that we collect. Again, we're working on ways to do a contactless delivery, and so we're figuring that out, and it'll be a little different. We normally let people shop, but this isn't the year to do that, so we're going to do it contactless, but we'll still need people to help direct traffic, to help bring toys out to people, to do things like that. And they can donate, they can do that by calling 898-6000 or going to salarmyomaha.org and click on the volunteer tab.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to encourage everybody. You've got, and I know all this information is coming across the bottom of the screen. And then we'll have stuff on our website. Go to your website. There's lots of ways to give back and be a part of this holiday season that contributes to the lives of others, because the need doesn't stop. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on and chatting with me today. And I'm going to look at that Turkey Fest driving, signing up to do that. So
go for it. I'll
talk to you a little bit more about that later. But again, thank you so much for joining me today, Major Thompson. An important time of year for so many in need, and there's a lot more people in need this year. So thank you
so much, Andy. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome.